Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Can I be heard? Shalom, shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Can you hear me now? I guess y'all can hear me now. Trying to moderate this sound. Make sure that it's not too loud. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Can you hear me clearly now? I'm sure everyone could hear me clearly now. Let me know if you can hear me clearly now. What about now? Can you hear me? It's good now. Okay. Hope that everyone is having a blessed evening, that the Most High God has been in your life this past week, has blessed you with all the desires of your mind, food, clothing, and shelter, that Yahuwah will continue to bless us and keep us. That Yahuwah will continue to elevate us from the positions that we're in, will help us to grow, will help us to do the things that we're supposed to do. I'm just trying to share the link. If you got any rooms that you're in that you know that you're a part of and you think that this will interest some people, just share the link. Help to promote us. Help to promote us. So, how's everyone feeling out there? Once again, I'm just trying to paste these links to all these rooms that I go into, that I have, that I'm a member of. I'm a member of a lot of rooms. And basically, I have like one person that helps me. Sister Shamaraya helps me to kind of spread it to all these rooms. But I don't know if she's on tonight. So I'm doing it on my own. But that's cool. I know that y'all patient. So it won't be a problem for y'all to wait. I'm tired. I'm working on 3 hours sleep. But I couldn't leave y'all hanging. I know y'all look forward to this. So I'm going to do my best to do what I do. Now, I just want to I want to touch on a couple of points tonight. All right, I shared it with everyone. Can I just turn it up a little bit? I'm speaking low. Am I speaking low? Is it low? The microphone is low. All right, let me see what's going on here. Let me go into my settings. Go into my settings here. Let's see what's going on here. Shalom. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, shalom. Is the microphone better now? I hope it's better. All right, shout out to everyone in the room. I just want to give a shout out to my sister Marsha, Yisrael. You know, she just lost her mother not too long ago, so I received a nice text from her today. May the Most High God bless you, sister. May the Most High God continue to be with you and guide you and keep you strong. And for everybody else that might have had a loss, I pray that the Most High God be with them and strengthen them and give you the ability to get through. So now I think we're good now. Loud and clear. Okay, Hebrew Woman 2 in the building. Bathsheba Yisrael. I haven't seen you in a minute. Karer Kaskuya. Avared Yisrael Tavel. Morey Tavel. Mabel Yisrael. Uzziel Lewi. Yonah Ben Yisrael. Shalom, brother Yonah. Seen you out in the park the other day. I think that was you. So, good seeing you, my brother. Dina Yisrael, Shabbat Shalom. I see that cruise going to Cuba. I'm gonna try to make that one. Our sister Dina Yisrael has a cruise going to Cuba. She could talk to y'all about that tomorrow when the sun is going down. So that should be interesting. All right, I got really something that's a real loud engine going through. I got something to address tonight, and I just want to use Torah. It's just been a couple of things that's been said, and I'm gonna just use Torah because it's no use going back and forth, but Torah does speak for anything that we have to say, you know. And I just want to prefix this by saying, Ima Avared Yisrael, this has nothing to do with you. This is something totally different. I don't want you to think that I'm talking about you. This is totally different, something totally different, coming from somewhere totally different, and I just want to address this. I did a video with a European Jew by the name of Harry Rosenberg. Now, for those of you that might not know Harry Rosenberg, if you look him up, Harry, if you go on my Uzziel Lewi channel, you will see that I did an interview with him during Rabbi Capus Funay's inaugural dinner, which was the 21st, August 21st. I was there. I was hired by the whole committee to come out and film, take videos and pictures. They know that I do that type of stuff, so they wanted me to come out there and do that. So I went out there. Now, Harry Rosenberg, last year he had a video where he made a statement saying that, now this is a European Jew. He's saying in his video, if you haven't seen it, he said that the children of Israel are that the Negro, well, he didn't say Negroes, he said, but the black people that came through the transatlantic slave trade are the children of Israel, and most likely they are probably the imposters. When he's saying they, meaning the European Jew. So when he made that statement, he was speaking to a room full of Jewish people, and they started flipping chairs on him and walking out on him. You can hear it in the background. You can't physically see it. So they're walking out on him. So later on in that, well, the following year, which is 2016, the year that we're in, he got drawn into a debate. They asked my brother Uzziel if he would want to bring him in. So Uzziel was going to do a debate with Harry Rosenberg. It was going to be Uzziel and Harry Rosenberg against somebody by the name of Polite and somebody from the Kemetic conference by the name of Sarah Sutin Seti. Needless to say, Brother Uzziel got crucified for, quote unquote, bringing a white boy into the conscious community. You roll with white boys, and if you know anything about that RB unity, is no with them. White man is the devil, blah blah blah, the whole 9 yards. Some of you might feel that way. Nonetheless, Brother Uzziel backed out of the debate. He wanted no parts of it. He was like, you know what? This is not going to be a debate about the knowledge. It is going to turn into being a persecution on the European Jew. It's not going to be about the knowledge that we really want to argue about, but it's going to be about the European Jew. So needless to say, the brother was ridiculed. He was a traitor, bringing the white boy into the community. He was called all types of stuff, Lion Lex, all types of stuff. So, he swallowed that pill. He rolled with it. Harry went on to have the debate with a brother by the name of Polite. And, he really had no chance of winning that debate in that setting. So needless to say, Brother Polite, if you look at it, he won the debate. You can't argue that point, because he just leaned into Harry about a lot of things. He spoke about things, that were outside the debate grounds. But if you know any of these debates are kind of like the hood debate. It's a little bit different. So Harry went through that. So he left, and he came all the way from Israel to Rabbi Fune's inauguration dinner. That wasn't something that I planned with him. I saw him there. I interviewed a lot of people. So he was just one of the many. So I figured, it's in a time I'm going to ask him some questions about the debate. And then because he lives in Israel, I want to ask him a question about the treatment of the Europeans towards the black people that are in Israel, because that was really what I wanted to get with him and ask him about. Because if you know me, I'm a brother who always has a smile on my face, and the reason why I do that is because you wouldn't want to see my other side. So I have to learn, and I had to learn how to control my spirit. So that's why I'm always smiling. I don't have a mean spirit. I could have a mean spirit when I want to, and I could be very mean spirited but you wouldn't want that side of me. So that's why I try to control my spirit, when it comes to certain things, because if I get mean-spirited, then I could do contrary to the laws of the Most High God, which is I could hold a grudge forever. That's me. And I know that about myself. So I try not to let too many things bother me, even things that come at me, because I know if I let them bother me too much, then I could revert to those ways, and I don't want to go against Torah, which is that you should not bear a grudge against your brother under no circumstance. So I sat down with Harry Rosenberg. I asked him these questions. I thought I asked him a very important question, which was the treatment of our people in the land. I asked him, I said, when the European come there, he's given the status of a citizen, of an Israeli citizen, as soon as he stepped into the airport. But, the black people are treated and are mistreated. So what do you think about that? I can't remember his whole answer, but he gave an answer. He spoke about, it's going to be a time, that these people, a small portion of these people that are agitating that kind of behavior, that Eurocentric behavior, they're going to be removed and blah, blah, blah. So that was an interview. So some people, I guess they didn't like the fact that I was sitting down there with a European. But the funny thing is, the congregation where I grew up in, we never, there was never, racism wasn't taught. Although it was a bit militant, it was a bit, strong. Racism was never we weren't the ones that said the white man was the devil. That wasn't never our MO. In fact, on many occasions, Caucasians came through the door and sat down and and they listened to services, broke bread with us, and that was that, right? So I'm just saying that to say this. There were a couple of attacks, but I'm not gonna go on the offensive because it doesn't make any sense. So but I will say this: I will teach Torah, and I will go into Torah to make certain pertinent points, because I think that Torah is the elixir to everything. I say this: Torah doesn't teach racism. Torah does not teach you to treat a person bad or good according to the color of their skin. Our captivity was a result of our sins, the sins of our forefathers, and the sins of our forefathers caused us to get scattered into, the west coast of Africa, and ultimately ending up in transatlantic slave trade and into the islands and into every other place. We cannot be angry. I heard a brother say this before, and I thought it was very important. We cannot get angry with the belt of correction. Who we have to be angry with is ourselves. The Most High God used that European as that belt of correction. That's what we've been teaching in these Knesset for years. We've been teaching in these Knesset for years that it's not the white man's fault while we in captivity. It's our fault. We understand and know. Now, understand what I'm trying to say. Another thing that my teacher taught me is hate those that hate you. That was a direct teaching. Now, if you hate me, I hate you. But if you don't hate me, regardless of what color, creed, or whatever you are, I don't hate you. I'm not a hateful person. So my whole thing is this: we need to start defining we need to start defining, and I'm not talking about whether something makes the European right or wrong. I'm not saying that. I need you to understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you is that we cannot look at the color of someone's skin and determine whether or not they're Israel today. I'm telling you, because we're going to fall into a quagmire. I could just look into my family tree, and I could tell you, if we're determining, and I'm not trying to say that the European is Israel, but what I'm saying is that the way that the world is going right now is a mixed bag. And when we see certain things, we have to be aware of what we're saying. Now, I could pull up my family, and I could show you people within my family that go from looking almost white to really black as tar. No one is saying that you should have children with Europeans. I'm not saying that. I need you to understand my point and understand what I'm trying to say. So getting back to this point. For example, I'm going to screen share something with y'all. I want y'all to look at something and tell me what you think. Give me 1 second. I want you to look at this. Look at this beautiful Israelite family right here. Now, I'm screen sharing this because I want y'all to see something, right? Look at this beautiful Israelite family here, right? That's what we will say to ourselves. But what determines an Israelite? Is it the color of your skin? Or is it who your father is and where he came from, what lineage he came from? So now, I want to know if you could recognize who's in this family. Who is this family? Who is the people in this family? If you could recognize it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Stop it. So now, reason why I pulled that up is because of this. That's Rohan Marley, right? That's Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley's family. So now we got to start backtracking. Bob Marley's son, right? They got, I believe, 7 children together. Big family, big, beautiful black family, race of people. But let's start tracing back. If we start tracing back, Rohan Marley was a great football player with the University of Miami. He is the son of the great reggae artist Bob Marley, right? Bob Marley, father was a British naval officer, I believe, who got his 60-year-old father got Bob Marley's 18-year-old mother pregnant, and and bore Bob Marley. So now, when we determine Israel or not, we just look at that beautiful black family. Are they Israelites? They're not Israelites, because you are what your father is. It comes down through the paternal seed. So even if a black man marries a white woman and have children, by law those children are Israelites. So this is what I'm trying to tell you. We have to that color blindness. Now, if Bob Marley had married white women, right, had children, and then those children, those sons, continued to marry white people, and more white people and more white people, the offsprings, it would eventually, you wouldn't even see the black in them. So it is with, and this is what I'm trying to say. So it is with, and that's not a mamzer. A mamzer is a child of a illegal bed. A mamzer are children from incest, or children from things like that. But those are not bastards. They have a father and a mother. Because if that was the criteria for a mamzer, that you mix the seed, then that means when Boaz got Ruth pregnant, Boaz was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah and Ruth was a Moabite. Then that means that the line of King David would have been a mamzer line. Right, wicked behavior. So this is what I'm trying to say. We have to get out of this mindset. This mindset boxed us in for years. You're going to have people that come and they're going to say, now I'm not saying that the European is Israel. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that you got to get out of that mindset to where he's the devil, he's this, he's that. Right? Because that's counterproductive. Like I said, the brother said, you cannot be upset with the belt that the Most High God used to put us in line and to put us in check. Because we went into captivity for our own iniquities. So now I just want to touch on some things about strangers and people that come in the midst of us. Now real quick, I want to go. So here it is. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy 23, verse 7. Use Torah. I'm going to just use the Tanakh. I'm not attacking. I'm not doing any of that. That's counterproductive. One second here. Deuteronomy 23. Verse 7. Let me just fix this over here. Make it neat. My glasses broke, so if you see me squinting, let me just make these fonts bigger so I don't have to squint. Deuteronomy chapter 23 verse 7 reads, You shall not abhor an Edomite, for he is your kinsman. You shall not abhor an Egyptian, for you were a stranger in his land. Why do I go to these chapters? Because no one did worse to us than the Egyptians. The Egyptians drowned the firstborn in the Nile. The Egyptians beat us to death. The Egyptians had us as slaves. The Egyptians mistreated us. The Edomites, the father of the Edomites, Edom, he promised to kill Jacob. Throughout history, we've always had conflict with the seed of Edom. But still in all of that, the Most High says, this is a command. You shall not abhor, you shall not hate, you shall not hold in detestation an Edomite, for he is your kinsman, your brother. You shall not abhor an Egyptian, for you were a stranger in his land. Now, if the Most High is telling us that about where we were captives in the land where we were captives in, which is Egypt, how much more so now that we are in America? Like I said, don't get mad at the belt that the Most High God used to correct us. Once we get knowledge of ourselves and we have understanding of ourselves, then that means that we break out of that curse in Deuteronomy 28. We no longer are held under that curse. Now, in no way, shape, or form am I telling you to go chuck it and bubble it with somebody that hates you. If somebody hates you, by all means, hate them back. If somebody dislikes you, I don't care from what race they are, dislike them back. And we understand that the racism in America is out of control. But what I'm trying to show you is from a Torah perspective. We left out of Egypt a mixed multitude. There's people that clung on to the laws of God. That's why when we read some of these laws that we're going to read, it's going to speak about the stranger and how you have to treat him. It's going to speak about the stranger in the midst of you and what he has to do. It's going to speak about the stranger and all the things that he goes through and the things that he could do and the things that he cannot do. I'm going to go through these laws. Let us go to the book of Leviticus chapter 19, starting from verse 16. Leviticus 19:16. I'm just trying to read law. That's all. I'm not trying to cause no drama. Not trying to cause any of that. 19:16. I'm going to scroll down to it. Leviticus chapter 19:16, it reads. First one is, do not deal basely with your countrymen. Do not profit by the blood of your fellow. I am Yahweh. Make sure I got the, 19:16. You shall not hate your kinfolk in your heart, reprove your kinsman, but incur no guilt because of him. So if you have a problem with your kinfolk, with your brother, if you have a problem with your sister, today we have social media. You don't air it out on social media. You don't go to social media to air it out with your brother. You understand what I'm saying? You don't do that. You don't do that with your sister. We don't put out each other's business out on social media, right? It said reprove your kinsmen if they did something wrong to you. Reprove your brother and your sister, but incur no guilt because of him. And meaning don't bring no sin on yourself because they did something that was wrong. Then it says, verse 18, you shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against your countrymen. Love your fellows as yourself. I am Yahweh. Don't take vengeance or bear grudge against your countrymen. That means bearing grudges against the laws of God. But some people have grudges that turn to hate and they can't shake it off. Although Lord tells you that you shall not bear grudge. Right? Notice that it shows you shall not take vengeance. Right? Because usually vengeance comes from bearing a grudge. because it turns into, that grudge turns to hatred, and now you want to take vengeance on something that you feel that your brother or your sister might have done to you, and now you're breaking the commandments of the Most High God. So we have to be very cognizant of this and understand the laws and Torah, and understand what the Most High God wants of us. Let us go back up to verse 10, Leviticus 19, verse 10. It reads, "You shall not pick your vineyard bare, or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the food, for the slika." Let me read this over. "You shall not pick your vineyard bare, or gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and the stranger. I, Yahuwah, am your God." So you shall leave it for the poor and the stranger. I am Yahuwah, your God. So the stranger is always going to be in the midst of us. We're going to have people that don't look like us in the midst of us, and guess what God wants us to do? He wants us to treat them right. Why? Because we were strangers in the land of Egypt. Straight up. We were strangers in the land of Egypt. They fall under our rules. They fall under our regulations. But Torah does not teach us to be nasty to strangers who call upon the name of the Most High God. None of that. Let us go on. Exodus chapter 12, verse 49. I want you to stay with me now. Don't have side conversations. Just listen to Torah, because I'm trying to teach Torah. I'm not trying to teach feelings. I'm trying to teach Torah. That way we could get a clearer understanding of it. Exodus 12:49. Let me scroll down to it. Let me get chapter 12 first. Verse 49. Give me 1 second here. Trying to use this new method that I'm using over here. It says, y'all with me? Exodus 12:49. "There shall be one law for the citizen," that's us, the children of Israel, and this is the laws that we're receiving, but when we're leaving Egypt and we're going into the land. "There shall be one law for the citizen and for the stranger who dwell among you." Why? Because when we left Egypt, we left a mixed multitude, a mixed bag of people. So the stranger had laws that governed them as well as it did us. The rules that were made for the stranger was that he could not be a king over us, and he could not eat of the holy offerings. Those were the distinct things. But right here it says it. "There shall be one law for the citizen and for the stranger who dwells among you." Let us go to the book of Exodus 22, verse 21. Says, Exodus 22:21. "You shall not ill-treat any hold on. No, 22:20 in this book. I guess it's 20 in some books and 21 in others. It says, "You shall not wrong a stranger or oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt." That's what Torah says. That's not what I say. You shall not wrong a stranger or oppress him. Why? Because he's in the midst of you. He already might have a complex because he's not you. So when he comes in the midst of you, you're supposed to make him feel comfortable. Those are the things that I learned. That's the way that I learned. The hospitality of Abraham. That's the way my teachers taught me. They didn't teach me that hateful stuff. They didn't teach me that. They taught me to hate those that hate me. That's something perfect to live by. Now, if somebody don't like you, you don't have to like them. But that other stuff, we got to get out of that way of thinking. Now, do not get me wrong. I'm not saying all these people that are doing all these atrocious acts against black people that we should forgive them and we should be kumbaya. I'm not telling you to go shake Joseph Pantaleo's hand. That's the cop who killed Eric Garner. I don't like him because he killed my brother. And I know that he's a racist because he would not do that to any European that looked like him. I don't love him. I don't love that cop that killed the brother in South Carolina who's running away from him. Makes you think that? What makes you think that I love that white boy who went into that church and killed all of our people? They should just feed them to the wolves. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people who come in the midst of you and they come in the name of the Most High God. You have to consider that. Torah is Torah. You can't fight Torah. Torah is perfect. Anything else, anyone says anything else is going above the word of God. And you're not God. No one else. And I'm not God. If the Most High tells us that this is the treatment of strangers, then when they come in the midst of you, you're supposed to make them feel comfortable and make them feel nice, knowing the rules. You understand what I'm saying? I hope that you're not losing what I'm trying to convey. Let me go on to the book of, got my notes here. I had to make my notes. Not going to be long tonight. Leviticus chapter 18, starting from verse 21. Now, I started out with the Lauryn Hill thing with her family, but I do want to say this. Regardless of what their true ethnicity or their true DNA lineage is, those are still my little brothers and sisters. Rohan Marley, I will consider him a brother. You understand what I'm saying? Because because of his color of his skin, he's gonna go through the same struggles I go through. So we have that in common. But when it comes to the Most High, that's not what he's looking at. He's not looking at skin color. He's looking at what the DNA is. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the difference. So although me and him go through the same struggles, but when it comes to the laws of God, now he's separating things by who your father is. What lineage do you come down from? And let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. You might not. I might not be Israel for all I know. That just might be the bounce of the ball. So now, because it so happened that maybe somewhere down the line, I'm not Israel, that I stopped serving Father. That's why the law is here for the stranger. Because this is in my heart now. I can't live anywhere else but this way. And this is what I'm saying. We have to be very, very careful. Now it says, do not allow any of your offspring, Leviticus 18:21. Do not allow any of your offspring to be offered up to Molech, and do not profane the name of your God. I am Yahweh. So now these are all laws that the Most High God do not want us. These are all things, no-nos that the Most High God do not want us to go do when we enter into the land of Canaan. Because he's saying, the Most High is going to tell us here that these are the things that they were doing in Egypt, and these are some of the things that they're doing in the land of Canaan. That's why I spewed the people out. It says, do not lie with the male as one lies with the woman. It is an abhorrence. Now in Egypt, they were known for that. There was a lot of homosexuality. Do not have carnal relations with any beast and defile yourself thereby, and let no woman lend herself to a beast to mate with it. It is perversion. This is also part of some of the traditions that the Canaanites and the Egyptians did. Do not defile yourselves in any of those ways, For it is by such that the nations that I am casting out before you defile themselves. The Canaanite, the nations that he cast out before us, they defile themselves by doing these homosexual acts and by doing all these things. Thus the land became defiled, and I called it to account for its iniquity, and the land spewed out its inhabitants, because the cup ran over. But you must keep my laws and my rules, and you must not do any of those abhorrent things, neither the citizen nor the stranger who resides among you. Once again, there go that stranger. You can't do any of those abhorrent things, neither the citizen, which is the homeborn, nor the stranger. That means that the law covers both. That means we have strangers in the midst of us. People that kept law, that kept Torah in the midst of us, and understood that they were strangers. It says, for all those abhorrent things were done by the people who were in the land before you, and the land became defiled. All these things, homosexuality, bestiality, all these things is what caused the land to become defiled. So let not the land spew you out for defiling it, as it spewed out the nation that came before you. All who do any of those abhorrent things, such persons shall be cut off from their people. You shall keep my charge not to engage in any of the abhorrent practices that were carried on before you, and you shall not defile yourselves through them. I am Yahweh your God. I am Yahweh your God. He's speaking to the citizens, and he's speaking to the stranger. I'm just saying. Leviticus 19:34. (33 and 34). It reads, when a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not wrong him. That means you can't wrest judgment away. You can't deal with him unjustly. This is talking about going into the land of Israel. Strangers were going to be in the midst of us. It says, don't wrong him. The stranger who resides, verse 34, the stranger who resides with you shall be to you as one of your citizens. The stranger who resides with you shall be as one of your citizens, as a homeborn. You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I, Yahweh, am your God. Now, do not get me wrong and say Uz is saying that you gotta love all the white people. I'm saying treat those nice who treat you nice. That's it. I don't have to be nasty to a person who is not nasty to me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're the children of Israel. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is that you also have to be careful of who you think is Israel and who is not, because we do not know. We know that the original people were people of color, but we went into captivity, and in captivity we got mixed up. Esther married a Persian king. We don't hear about the kids that Esther had, if she had any, but if she did, those children are Persian. Joseph married an Egyptian woman, but he had two Israelite babies, Manasseh and Ephraim. What I'm saying is it could go either way. It could go either way. So I'm just telling you, just be careful with that. Not telling you to love people that don't love you, but what I'm saying is that if people treat you nice, then treat them nice. And this is the funny thing with a lot of us, is we get our books from them, we get our food from them. Those of you who have access to go to maybe a quote-unquote Jewish community and go shopping there, This is crazy. So at this point in the game, when we haven't reached the position on the earth that we are supposed to be on, but it's an ongoing struggle that we're going to eventually get there. We're going to eventually get to that position where we'll be the heads. We'll be the ones running everything. But we're not there yet. And one of the main reasons why we're not there yet is because we bicker and fight amongst each other too much. We hold that grudge in our heart too much. We turn brother against brother and sister against sister too much. And those are the things that hold us back. Unfortunately, those are the things that hold us back. So, those are the things that we have to keep in mind. Those are the things that we have to keep in the back of our heads. Let me go to the book of Leviticus 24, verse 22. Now, I've been in the Torah the whole time. I've been in the Torah the whole time because that's what protects us from anything else. Torah. Leviticus 24, verse 22. Scrolling down to it again. It reads, "You shall have one standard for stranger and citizen alike, for I, Yahweh, am your God." It says Yah is, he said he deal with just weights and just balance. So he said you shall have one standard, one law for the stranger as well as the homeborn. Because if he's in the midst of you, and if he's serving God, you cannot treat him any different, because remember, you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You did not like how the Egyptians treated you. And even with the treatment of the Egyptian, the Most High God said that you should not abhor him in your heart. I'm going to go back to the point that the brother made, that the brother said, you cannot get mad with the belt that the Most High God used to whip you, because the belt was a result of the sins of our forefathers and our sins that we continue to do here in captivity. So don't get mad with the belt that the Most High God used you to chastise you. That's right. Don't get mad with it. It says, Leviticus 25:35. I hope I'm not boring y'all. It reads, if your kinsman, Leviticus 25:35, if your kinsman being in straits comes under your authority, and you hold him as though a resident alien, let him live by your side. It said, let him live by your side. Do not exact from him advance or accrued interest, but fear your God, let him live by your side as your kinsman. Do not lend him your money at advance interest, or give him your food at accrued interest. Treat your brother as yourself. Treat him nice. Those are things that we have to learn. Bringing up all these precepts. So that was the Torah. So now I'm going to go into a little bit of prophecy. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 56 verse 1. Hope I'm not boring y'all. Told y'all I'm working on 3 hours of sleep. Oh, it was just where this is coming from. I'm not even going to give it any kind of, it's not about Harry. Harry's his own man. He could fight his own battle. The problem is that, I just don't want to do it online. I don't want to stoop myself to that level, but I'm only bringing Torah. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want y'all to think that I'm defending someone. I'm not defending anyone. I'm just bringing Torah. Understand what I'm doing. I'm not defending anyone. I'm just bringing Torah. That's all. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not defending anyone. I'm just bringing Torah. That's all I'm doing. I'm bringing Torah. You don't have to like what I'm saying. You didn't have to like. You put it like this. You didn't even have to like what I did with the man, but I'll put it like this. If I want to interview a goldfish in a fish tank and put a microphone next to the fish tank and ask him questions, I have the right to do that. You might think I'm crazy, but I have the right to do that. Yeah, that's why when I started I've read Yisrael, I cleared it and I said it had nothing to do with you. I didn't want you to take offense to this. This is just something that happened. I don't even want to tell you where it's coming from. Maybe I'll tell you a little on the personal side note when you give me a call. I'll bring it to you and let you know what it's about. So that's it. So if, like I said, if I want to interview Lionel from the Thundercats, I'll interview him. If I want to interview Captain America, I'll interview him too. I'm being sarcastic, but you know what I mean. An interview is an interview. So, and that's the whole thing. So you could get it from there. Have a read Yisrael. That's all I'm saying. Isaiah 56. Let me get back on track, because I don't really want to go all over the place with this. Isaiah 56. Now these are future prophecies. Thus saith Yahweh, I observe what is right and do what is just, for soon my salvation shall come and my deliverance be revealed. Happy is the man who does this, the man who holdeth fast to it, who keeps the Sabbath and does not profane it, and stays his hand from doing any evil. This is the prophet talking about what the Most High is saying, is that blessed is the person who keeps the Sabbath, the man who keeps the Sabbath and holds fast to it, and don't do any evil upon the Sabbath. Sell goods, washing your car, washing TV, doing all types of stuff on the Sabbath that you're not supposed to be doing. Working on the Sabbath, that's an evil. You work on the Sabbath, that's an evil. That's what is mentioned here. You know? But you got people that make excuses for working on the Sabbath. Is it right? It's not right. Torah tells us that you should not profane the Shabbat, that you stop, you cease. Some Israelites work on the Sabbath. It's not right. I wouldn't tell you it's right. I wouldn't tell you. I'll tell you by any means try to do what you got to do to get that day off. But some Israelites use the excuse that this is captivity. A coat, this is captivity. I got to do it. I got to take care of myself. And you know what? And I still don't hate you. That's between you and God. You have to deal with God with that. Says, let not the foreigner say, who has attached himself to Yahweh, Yahweh will keep me apart from his people, and let not the eunuch say, I am a withered tree. So let not the foreigner say, who has attached himself to Yahweh, not to man, not to us, but to Yahweh, Yahweh will keep me apart from his people. Meaning God gonna make a separation between me and his people. It says, and let not the eunuch say, I am a withered tree. Why? Because the eunuch can have children. For thus saith Yahweh, this is the word of the Most High. As for the eunuchs who keep my Sabbaths, who have chosen what I desire and hold fast to my covenant, that he will be our God and we will be his people. That's the covenant. I will give them in my house and within my walls a monument and a name better than sons and daughters. This is what he's promising the eunuchs. That he said in his house and in his monument, he will give them a name that's better than sons and daughters, a monument. I will give them an everlasting name which shall not perish. That's for the eunuchs. And as for the foreigners who attach themselves to Yahweh, listen to this clearly, to minister to him and to love the name of Yahweh, to be his servants, all who keep the Sabbath and do not profane it, and who hold fast to my covenant. I'll bring them to my sacred mount and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and sacrifices shall be welcome on my altar, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. That's what the Most High God thinks of the foreigner who holds fast to his law. Man, I'm only bringing Torah and Tanakh. That's it. I'm not bringing feelings into this. I'm bringing you what the Word of God say, the way I was taught. This is the way I was taught. By the way, this is the way I was taught. So I'm just clarifying that. All right? It's the way I was taught. It says, as for the foreigners who attach themselves to Yahweh, to minister to him and to love the name of Yahweh, to love. That means there's going to be strangers that's going to come in the midst of us and love to do this and do what we're doing, to be his servants, to serve before God, all who keep the Sabbath and do not profane it, and who hold fast to my covenant, who hold fast to the covenant of God, like I said, that he will be our God and we will be his people. I'll bring them to my sacred mount and let them rejoice in my house of prayer. Let them rejoice in my temple. Their burnt offerings and sacrifices shall be welcome on my altar, for my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Thus declares Yahweh God, who gathers the dispersed of Israel. I will gather still more to those already gathered. Most I will continue to gather us. So, you cannot determine who the stranger is because you can't look into that. You see, that right there tells me that we can't see past. We have to begin to see past ourselves. We don't know who the stranger was. When we were with the Assyrians, when we were under Persian rule, those were strangers too. And you have a lot of quote unquote Persian Jews that became Jews during that time, and the only reason why they call them Jews is because that was the last kingdom. You got a lot of Persian Jews in Persia. You got a lot of Persians that serve God, that's been serving God from the time of Esther. We all have maps and books, Shemariah. I'm trying to tell you that the Most High didn't put a definition on who the stranger is. That's all I'm telling you. Most High didn't put a definition on it. So I want to ask you a question. What about all of those people? And this is just a question for you, Shemariah. What about all those people who were in the Underground Railroad? You think all those people were black people? The people that helped some slaves escape? What about during the civil rights movement, some white folks that lost their lives fighting for the freedoms of black people? That happened too. Where do you put those Europeans, and what category do you put them? Because you see, if you just got hate for white people, then I get it. I can't change your mind. You got hate for white people. I get it. I'm not here to try to stop your hatred for Europeans. I got hatred for some of them that done us wrong. But what I'm trying to tell you is that we cannot put God in that box. We can't put God in that frame. God don't deal with that. God deal with the inward parts. He don't deal with the outer appearance. He deal with the inward. You're entitled to your opinion on how you feel about it. And I'm not telling you to love Europeans. You're getting my whole message wrong. Shemariah, you right now, you just caught up on the European narrative. I'm not saying just Europeans. I'm saying the stranger. The stranger, the Most High don't describe the stranger. He don't give the stranger how he physically looks. That's not what he's talking about. And when we came out of Egypt, a mixed multitude, it wasn't only Hamitic tribes that came out of Egypt with us. That's sadly mistaken. Remember, when we went into Egypt, it was because there was a sore famine. So Egypt was a metropolis, or a metropolitan type of nation, and everybody was coming from all parts of the east to Egypt, because remember, Joseph stored up in the years of plenty. He made store cities, and everybody was coming there. So all the people that came there is just like people migrate to America, right? People come from it's the same thing. People come from Europe, South America, the Caribbean islands, Central America, and then they make their lives in America, here in the United States of America. They live here, and you start mixing in, right? But you still keep your ethnicity. Irish are Irish, Italians are Italians. Quote unquote, Israelites, Jamaicans, whatever. It's like a melting pot. You understand? So when we looking at that, it's the same thing that was happening in Egypt. People was coming down from Rome. Now you can't tell me that. Now Rome is right across the Mediterranean. You can't tell me that Romans wasn't coming down to Egypt. Egypt was conquered by Rome. Egypt was conquered by the Greeks. Those are European nations. Those are European nations. A melting pot. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you to love them. You don't have to love them. All I'm telling you is a stranger is a stranger, and when the Most High speaks of a stranger, you don't know who he's speaking of. You just can't say Canaanite nations, because the Most High told us to destroy the 7 nations that were before us. Yeah, he told us to kill African nations. That's what he told us to kill. He told us to kill them Canaanites that was in there, and we didn't do it. That's what he told us to do. He didn't tell. He said there was 7 nations that we were forbidden from marrying into, giving our children to, and them giving us their children. And those were them 7 Canaanite nations. Ham, African people, quote unquote. We read that. It's in the Torah. It's in there. Yeah, they probably mixed with us because we didn't follow the commands of God. But that's who God. But God didn't want us to mix with them. Can you admit that? Can you admit that God didn't want us to mix with them? You type pretty fast. I don't know what you a fast typer. How many words you type a minute, Shamariah? What's your how many words you type a minute, sister? Because you type really fast. But I'm not here to argue with you. All right, we're not. You know, you my sister, and sometimes we agree to disagree. So, yeah. So I'm not here to give you a love song about Europeans. They hate me, I hate them. If they don't like me, I don't like them. When I was young in Panama, I had white people discriminate against me, and I hate them just as much as they hate me. What I'm saying is, when we come to understanding of Torah, now when we're dealing with people, it has to be on a different level. It can't be on that the white man is the devil thing. You know, that whole white man is the devil, it comes from a concept of the white man is evil. And now I could understand the older generation of our people, and even some of us, but like the older generation, they had that more with it because they was closer to that, to slave times, and they really seen the evil of white folks. And that's where a lot of that developed from, the white man is the devil, because they seeing they evil. And I don't blame them, because they was living in that. Some of us are living in it now with some people, with some of those Europeans. I'm not telling you to be lovey-dovey with them that hate you, but what I am telling you is to do is use sense. Don't be crazy. You're going to have people that are going to attach themselves to us, and they're going to love, and they're going to want to come and listen and learn. And what you going to do? Turn them away because of the color of their skin? You could say, oh, they come in to spy. If they come in to spy, so what? We put everything online. Everything that we do, we put online. We speak about it online. We don't hide anything. So if they come in to spy, they don't need to come in the midst of us. They could just listen at home. These are all free streams. So you never told me how many words you type a minute, Shamariah. I'm still waiting for that. Because you type pretty fast. You might be right. He need our energy. You're right. You might be right. But what difference does it make? You said 90 words a minute? Wow. You type pretty fast. You keep this chat room jumping, sister. So yeah, I hope that I didn't offend some of you. I hope that you got what I was trying to bring. I'm not doing a love fest for the European man, but I hope that you got what I was trying to bring. Some of you, maybe you still oppose, and I get it. We agree to disagree. We have different opinions. We have certain things. The Eurocentric situation that we're under is an oppressive one. Understood. European philosophy is almost to keep us down. And I know that, and I understand that. And I'm no fool to that, and I'm not blind to that. I'm here for my people. I'm not selling out for anything because I love my people, but I also, first and foremost, do Torah. And that's what I have to govern my life by Torah. And that's the only thing I govern my life by, is Torah, not by man, because man will lead you astray. So I would say this: read Torah, and most of the time, the Most High gives you the answers in your heart. Like my brother Morey Tabel said, it's common sense. Treat people like you want to be treated. Common sense is not so common. I go to my job. You got all types of people: Filipino, you got Caucasian, you got blacks, you got all types of people. And when I go in there, I'm the same person that I am with y'all. I walk in there with a smile. They smile at me, but everybody goes back to their own lives. They go back to their Filipino community. I come to my community. Everybody goes to their community. Everybody goes to where they're comfortable. And there's no harm. I don't got to go in there with an attitude because you Caucasian if you're not treating me with an attitude. That makes no sense. Now, if you give me attitude and you show me that you don't like me, I could show you the same thing. That's all I'm saying. It says it shall be a house of prayer for all people. So we got to get out of that frame of mind. Hoping and praying that you got something out of this. I know some of you probably want to call in and tell me a story or two. I'll give you 5 minutes. If you want to call in, if you remember the number, I'm not going to give you the number. If you remember the number, just call it. Some of you got it locked in. But yeah, I'm not here to do a love fest about the European man. Nah, I'm not here for that. But what I'm telling you is to listen to Torah and to follow Torah, not to follow man, because man will lead you astray. Man will lead you astray. It doesn't have anything to do with coming to the table with Jewish people. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It just has to do with common sense, like my brother Morey Tavel said. That's all. Torah is first. There you go. Can't go wrong with that. Now, I use Morey Tavel as an example. Well, not Morey Tavel, but his Abba, called Mikhail Ben Levi. This man has traveled the world over. You think he hasn't met some Caucasian people along his travel? You think he hasn't had to sit down with some Caucasian people along his travel? And I know that man, and I know his demeanor, and I know for sure, regardless of how he might feel, I don't know what's his personal feelings towards Caucasians, but I'm sure that he's the same way he is. If they show him to be nice, he's going to be nice, because that's just his personality. He's not going to be a nasty person to you if you're not a nasty person to him. Now, I can't speak for him, but from what I know of him and from what I see of him, I just feel like CHOKMAH, that's how he is. Now, his son is here. He could probably correct me and say, nah, Uz, my pops is a stone cold racist. He hate white people, and then I'll be wrong. But I can't, just me picturing CHOKMAH, I just don't see that. If he is, then he is. I'm wrong. But I'm just using him as an example. He's traveled the world. He's met all types of people. He's been on airlines with stewardess and all types of stuff. That's right. The Holy Father will handle the rest. You're right about that. That's right. Torah is always and forever the right way. That's it. And that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Forget the rhetoric, because the rhetoric is just that. But Torah is always the best. He said, God didn't give anyone a license to disrespect anyone. Wow. That's from his son, his firstborn right there. So, like I said, I guess y'all good. I gave you all a good topic of conversation tonight. Always a pleasure to see y'all. Let me see my peoples in the building. Let me see who's in the building. Let me see who my people's in the building. Let me see. Let me give personal shout outs, because I know some of y'all like the personal shout outs. Don't act like you don't. Some of y'all like the personal shout outs. Let me give some shout outs to my people in the building. Let me see what's going on here. Shamarai Yehuda, my sister, she fight me tooth and nails, but you need people to keep you, fighting and sharp. So I appreciate you, sister. Hebrew woman 2, I think that's Tamar right there. That's my little. I knew Tamar from when she was in diapers when I knew her? She probably was in diapers. I know her that long. Me and her brother best friends. Levan the man. What's your plan? My brother Moray Tavel, known him for a long time. Avared Yisrael, the spiritual elder who calls me and chastises me when she has to, but I love her dearly. Yeah, I probably knew you from when you was in diapers, Tamar. So what's the big deal? Yeah. You my little sister. I could say that. All right, Shamarai, you really hit up this text here. I can't even find nobody else's name. You be shutting everybody else down. They be scared to type when you typing. Servants of Yehovah, glad to see you in the building. Judah, Israel. All right, Marsha, Yisrael. All right. I just read that one. Jewish people charge us interest on everything. They sure do. That was a good one. They sure do charge you interest on everything. But if you know back in the day, we used to go to Delancey Street, right? And if you go there early enough in the morning, you catch them, and you run that Torah by them. They'll give you that leather jacket at a cheaper price, because they got to do a what do you call that? Tavel probably gonna know. He probably gonna write it up there before me. So if you knew Torah, you knew how to go hustle them, to where they didn't charge you no interest. But that's New York City has a big Jewish community, so once they knew you understood Hebrew and certain things, it was, they kind of was a little bit. It was a lot of brothers that could get things from them. I know for certain. May the Most High God bless his memory. I seen Moray Hosea do it a lot of times. Get things from them and knew how to work them, because he understood their traditions, right? He understood the halakhic traditions. So a lot of times he knew how to go and approach them, and they will let go what he needed. And he was a carpenter, so a lot of times, they owned the lumber yards, they owned the what you buy the sheetrock, the nails, the screws. So he knew how to finagle them. So blessed be Yehovah our King. Tonight was kind of nice. Every now and then I need a little back and forth. I don't need y'all to just be agreeing with everything I say. I need a little back and forth. So time. Keep me sharp, right? So I could go into the scriptures and find quotes and all that. So that's good. I love y'all. I think I gave a shout out. There's more people on, but I think I gave a shout out to enough people. Blessed be the Most High God. Like I said, I'm working on 3 hours sleep, but I'm going to still get my slice of cake and ice cream. Then I'm going to sleep. But I'm happy that y'all joined me tonight. And, yeah, I'm going to get some rest. And remember this. Oh, look at Sha'altiel. Sha'altiel, you just came on the stream? Goodness gracious. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go knock this cake off, eat some ice cream, then I'm going to go to sleep. I'm tired. You can see it in my eyes. When my eyes start closing up like that, I'm tired. But I'm going to have more controversial stuff like this for y'all. Because I do need y'all to fire at me so I can stay sharp. Sha'altiel just woke up, right? He said, just finished my cake and ice cream. Let me see. All right, so shalom, shalom to everyone in the room. May the Most High God bless each and every one of you. I gave you all an opportunity to call in, but nobody wanted to call in, so. Laila Tov. Everyone have good dreams. I'm going to try to get that Pal Talk going again with the music and all the other stuff. Y'all miss that, right? Those of y'all that used to do Pal Talk, y'all miss it? Do y'all miss Pal Talk? Or this is better than Pal Talk? Let me see what y'all putting up there. Yeah, I think I'm going to get the Pal Talk up and running again. Or start time to... You don't like Pal Talk. Used to give you... Pal Talk, people used to complain that Pal Talk brought you too many viruses. I'm going to see if they built something different. Davi said he missed Pal Talk. All right. This is better. Okay. This is better than... For the music, though, yeah, Pal Talk was the music. Y'all used to get the music early in the morning, the teachings and stuff like that. Somebody told me about a All right, before I know I've been saying I'm gonna stop. My brother was telling me about podcasts. He said, "Yo, you should podcast stuff because people could download it when they're on their way home and they could listen to it on the trains and do all that." So I'm going to look into all those things. Podcasts, I'm going to try to see how to do, if I could podcast these things and put them in a podcast so people could download them and listen to them. Then the other thing is, let me see. It was a podcast and there was something else. Well, I'm going to try to see. I'm going to look into that podcasting thing because I think that's interesting. Then y'all need to share this with your families, you know. People you think might need it. So, Laila Tov, buenas noches. May the Most High God bless y'all. And I will see you again in the AM, Yah willing. So everybody enjoy your sleep. Shalom, shalom.